Edward Seaga, one of Jamaica's most influential political leaders, really working for the people of Jamaica?
The house and executed 5 people. He walked around each one of them and shot them in the head with a .45.
There were images produced of Michael Manley in the media, in the Daily Gleaner, which was the news.
Most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labour Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in, with all the propaganda guidance.
Was Edward Seaga, one of Jamaica's most influential political leaders, really working for the people of Jamaica? Or was he a foreign agent serving the interests of the CIA and MI6? This is the untold story of guns, gangs, and global influence in Jamaica's turbulent past. Edward Seaga wasn't born on the island he would one day lead. Born in Boston, Massachusetts, his rise to political prominence in Jamaica has been shrouded in controversy. Critics have long questioned, was his leadership driven by Jamaican interests, or was there a hidden agenda? The Caribbean became a geopolitical chessboard during the Cold War. The United States and its allies feared the spread of socialism, especially after Fidel Castro's rise in Cuba. Allegations suggest that Edward Seaga may have been a pawn in their game. Did foreign intelligence agencies plant Seaga in Jamaica's politics to counter the socialist policies of his rival, Michael Manley? Stay with us as we unravel the evidence. To consolidate his power, Edward Seaga formed a political militia led by Lester Jim Brown's Coke, the father of Christopher Dudis's Coke. In the early 1970s, Lester Coke gained a reputation as a brutal and loyal enforcer, organizing young men from Tivoli Gardens into the infamous Shower Posse. The Shower Posse, indirectly connected to the CIA, wreaked havoc during the 1980s and 90s, playing a major role in drug wars across North America and Europe. Beyond their criminal activities, the Shower Posse served political purposes, mobilizing voters, intimidating opposition members, and fundraising. This marked the beginning of a close link between politics and drug trafficking in Jamaica.
Some of Jim Brown bankrolled Tivoli. His gang, the Shower Posse, led the Jamaican assault on the US drugs market.
Because the person he is. Because the person he is. Always trying to help someone, say something to them, word of encouragement.
Jim Brown came to Miami in 1984 to see what was going on with his Shower Posse and their drug dealing activities. And while he was here, in November that year, he walked into a house and executed 5 people. He walked around each one of them and shot them in the head with a .45. Jim Brown is a bad, bad man.
When he was arrested at the request of the Americans, he faced charges of murder, drug trafficking, extortion. From prison, he fought a legal battle against extradition. He lost the fight, but he never stood trial in an American court. It was said that too many powerful people would have been implicated if he had. Jim Brown was burned to death in his cell. Officially accident, more likely murder. Edward Seaga, the former Jamaican Prime Minister and Jim Brown's patron, led a funeral procession of 35,000 people.
Manley responded to Seaga's garrison strategy by replicating the model in communities like Dunkirk and Matthews Lane. These zones became hotbeds of political and criminal activity, intertwining governance, violence, and drug trafficking. The CIA's connection to the Shower Posse and Jamaica's political violence became evident through testimonies and reports. Former CIA agent Philip Agee revealed that the CIA used the JLP to destabilize the Manley government, providing weapons and funds that fueled the chaos. In 1989, Charles Little Nut Miller, a former Shower Posse member, testified against gang leaders in exchange for immunity. Miller admitted to 9 murders and revealed his roles as a JLP enforcer and CIA collaborator. In his testimony, he stated, "The United States made me what I am." Newsweek, July 13, 1998.
Using the Jamaican Labor Party as its instrument in the entire campaign against the Michael Manley government. I'd say most of the violence was coming from the Jamaica Labor Party side, and behind them was the CIA in terms of getting the weapons in and getting the money in with all the propaganda guidance, because there was a steady stream, a continuous campaign of propaganda against the Manley government. The weapons, there was no problem with getting weapons in, because the ganja smuggling was a perfect route for bringing weapons back into Jamaica from the United States. The CIA would look upon the radical political content of reggae music as dangerous, because it would help to create a consciousness among poor people, among the great majority of Jamaicans. And of course, naturally, the climate was created for an attempt on Bob Marley's life. The purpose of all those activities of violence and armed robbery and murder, coupled with the propaganda campaigns calling for the overthrow of the Manley government, naturally created a situation of terror, really, of tension, of uncertainty, of doubt, and fear.
A pragmatist or a pawn? The intertwining of politics, gangs, and foreign influence left a lasting impact on Jamaica that cannot be ignored. Jamaica's history is more than just a series of events. It's a reflection of the global forces that shaped it, and continue to do so today. If you found this deep dive into Jamaica's hidden history thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue the conversation in the comments. What do you think? Was Edward Seaga a foreign plant, or was he simply navigating a complex geopolitical landscape?